everybody, welcome to Jacob's Quest, and tonight I just got back from watching Folie, Joker 2. I watched Joker 2, and I'm gonna try to do non-spoilers first, and then I will get into spoilers because I kind of have to in order to talk about this movie. So my just initial non-spoiler opinion right here, I feel like this is a movie that's gonna get a lot of people angry, okay, and different groups of people. So let's start with where I'm at with the first Joker movie, okay? The first Joker movie came out. It was really controversial at first because a lot of people out there thought it was gonna, inspire some horrible people to do horrible things. Let's put it that way for YouTube. And when it came out, it was like a huge hit, billion-dollar film, really successful, especially because it had such a low budget, right? And a lot of people were really hyping it up. They were like, oh my god, it's this such an artsy masterpiece. I relate so much to the character of Arthur Fleck and all this stuff, right? And I saw the movie and I thought it was fine. Obviously the acting was great and the cinematography was amazing, and the music and the score and all that, like, it was really good, right? But overall, as a movie, I walked away going like, it's okay, it's fine. I see what they were doing, I can see why people like it, but that movie got some insane level of fandom. Like, people were dressing up as the Joker for Halloween, and they're dressing up as every con that they went to, and their Instagram little reels, and they, like, it just became a thing, right? So going into Joker 2, there were rumors for years now, and especially when actual teasers started coming out, that, oh, this one's a musical, and people were hesitant at first, and they're like, oh my god, I don't know, a musical? Not only were people not even sure we needed a sequel, because that first Joker seemed like such a well-rounded, just one-off story, and you don't really need to continue it. But now to make the sequel a musical, or at least have musical elements, turned a lot of people off. But, I think a lot of people are still going to give it a shot, at least, right? I'm going to tell you right now, the musical elements of this movie, while they are going to, turn some people off, I do not think that is the thing that's going to piss people off about this movie. There are decisions that they made just in the story that are going to make a lot of fans angry. And I'm talking about the Joker fans, the ones that dressed up as him for Halloween, and they made that like their internet persona for a couple years. Like, it's going to piss those people off because some stuff that they do with the Joker and Arthur Fleck, and it's kind of shocking, actually, how strange and I would say pretty bad some of these decisions were, because, you're like, okay, Todd Phillips has come out and he's talked a lot about how, like, oh, this is not comic book Joker, he's not going to become the Prince of Crime, all that, and that's well and good, right? Like, have your own take. But this one, it almost felt like he was openly hostile towards the idea of this becoming like the comic books, so much so that he's gonna really upset a lot of fans who were fans of his Joker, because this does not do the thing, okay? What I mean is, he doesn't get a lot of Jokerisms in this Joker movie. So I have to get into some spoilers, okay? But just know that that's my initial review right there, okay? This is gonna piss off a lot of people, especially people who really loved that first Joker movie. You're gonna be so mad. In fact, I would say maybe if you really love that first movie, like if that was your whole personality for a minute, maybe don't watch this one, because I think this is gonna kind of ruin it for you, to be honest, because yeah, weird. Anyways, we're gonna get into some spoilers. Spoiler section. That's your warning. Here we go. Okay, so let's talk about the musical segments first. Obviously, from the trailer, you could probably tell that most of those take place during little dream sequences. For the most part, he's not actually singing. Now, there are a couple of occasions where other people are seeing him, or he's being shown on a camera, like a video feed, singing, and it's kind of hard to tell, like, is that really happening, or is that just in his mind? So you're like, okay, they're kind of playing around with that like they did in the first movie. That's interesting. Okay, we kind of figured that would be the case. But the large majority of the movie takes place either in Arkham Asylum or in a courtroom where, you know, he's basically going over everything that happened in the first movie. And I think that's the first thing that's going to piss a lot of people off, is that really large sections of this movie are just kind of people recapping what happened in the first movie. He does not get a lot of time to, you know, run around Gotham City and cause mayhem and all that stuff. Like, anytime you see him in the trailers, especially, being violent and destructive and all that stuff, that's all dream sequence stuff. You know, like, the actual reality of what's happening is he goes to Arkham Asylum, he gets beat up by some guards, he goes to a courtroom. There is really only one scene. There's only one scene where he goes to the courtroom on one day, he's representing himself, he puts on the Joker makeup, and he gets to have like his big Jokerism. You know, he gets to give the big speech, and he gets to be all creepy, and he puts on like this weird southern lawyer accent thing that he's doing, trying to be creepy, I guess. And you're like, okay, we're finally getting some Joker-ness in this movie, because he's been Arthur Fleck. You know, he's been like timid guy, he's kind of slowly going crazy inside this asylum, and then the lawyers are trying to like turn it so like, oh, maybe there's two personalities, and then he meets Harley Quinn and they kind of have a relationship, but then she kind of lies about some things, and so you're not even sure how much of this is real for her, or if she's just like a fangirl, or what exactly is happening there. And after this sequence where he gets to have his big Joker moment, where he like, you know, gives his grand speech and everyone's like, oh my god, he's, you know, everyone's cheering, he's got like all of his Joker fans, you know, like the big crowd that's surrounding the courtroom. After that, the third act of this movie takes such a weird turn, and this is where people are really going to get pissed off. If you were not already bothered by the musical sequences, which they didn't really bother me, some of them went on a little bit too long, but I got it, right? I'm like, okay, this is their relationship, they're kind of falling in love, and they think they're gonna escape, and they have like this whole fantasy that they're gonna like be able to get out of this situation, which, you know, logically we're like, okay, this is very grounded in reality, so I don't know how they could possibly get out of this, right? Like, he's clearly going away for the rest of his life. Anyways, he gets beat up at the asylum by the guards because, you know, he was kind of talking crap when he was doing his whole Joker speech. And then the next day, he's dressed up as Joker again, and he just breaks character, and he's like, you know what, I was gonna do a whole Joker thing, but there is no Joker, it was all a lie, I'm just Arthur, I killed my mom, I killed all these people, it's my fault. And then Harley Quinn like gets up and leaves because she's like offended that he would abandon the fantasy of Joker and the whole like theatrics of it. He just like breaks character completely, and he basically gives up, you know. And so you think, well, surely he's gonna have this like triumphant return, like there's gonna be some kind of twist at the end here. And the movie tricks you for a second, because so some other Joker fans that we had never met before, they set a bomb off in the courtroom, and he is able to escape, and they grab him, and you think, okay, maybe this is where we turn him into the Joker, like he's got his own henchmen and they all like worship him because he's like this like legendary figure now as the Joker, right? But then no, he runs away from them. He runs into Harley Quinn again, and she basically just breaks it off, saying like, ah, no, you gave up on the Joker, right? Like, there's no Joker, so bye. And then Harley Quinn's out of the movie, like in like right before the final like little scene here, she's out of the movie. And then he gets captured by the police and taken back to Arkham Asylum. So his like any idea you might have had that like, oh, he'll get to escape this place and like get henchmen and have like his own Joker army, or, you know, like you kind of think like maybe they're finally gonna do the Joker thing. No, he gets captured again, sent back to Arkham Asylum. He gets told like, oh, hey, you have a visitor, and so he's walking away, and you're like, maybe Harley Quinn came back, maybe something's gonna happen there, she's gonna break him out of this place. Before he's able to even go see who his visitor is, some completely random inmate that we have never seen in the movie up to this point, they've never shown this guy, he tries to tell him some kind of joke, and then he stabs him a bunch of times, and then Joker falls to the ground bleeding, and his eyes are still open, and the movie ends. Like we're pretty sure he died there. And then that's it. that's the movie. Yeah. So they killed off the Joker, and Harley Quinn just broke up with him, like, 10 minutes earlier. So like she's out of the movie. I don't know. I don't like it almost, to me, here's almost what it felt like. It felt like maybe Todd Phillips did not actually want to make this movie, and Warner Brothers was like, well, we are making a Joker 2, and we will do it with or without you, so it's your choice. And this can only remind me of the last Matrix movie they made. Was it Resurrections? I think it was. So they did the same thing to the Wachowski siblings, where they're like, hey, we're Warner Brothers, we own this, we're gonna make another Matrix, it's your choice if you want to come back or not. And so one of them did, and they basically wrote a Matrix movie where it's like, this is really bad and kind of just treading over the same ground, but we're gonna end it in such a way where it's like, this is final, there is no more point in making another sequel after this. If you want to try and do something, you're gonna have to completely reboot it, because we like put the nail in the coffin on the Matrix franchise. And that's kind of what this felt like. Like, that's my takeaway of Joker 2, was that Todd Phillips didn't want to make it. Warner Brothers made him make it, so he's like, fine, I'm just gonna recap the first movie and then I'm gonna kill him off, and you can't make another one, so good luck. Like, that's what it felt like. It's either that, or he thought that by killing off the Joker through literally some random guy that we don't know for no reason, he thought that this would be such an artsy, shocking ending that we'd be like, oh my god, it's like, you get it? It's like poetry. It's like thematically, like he died because he inspired another psychopath, you see? And so his, like, or something like that. I don't know. I don't know if the implication is supposed to be that this random guy is going to be the next Joker, because we do kind of, it's very, it's like blurred out in the background, but we do see him messing with his own face with the knife. So like, I don't know if the implication was supposed to be that that's another Joker being born or something. I don't know. All I know is this is a movie that's going to piss people off, because the Joker in this movie does not get to do any of the violent, crazy Joker things. He doesn't get to have some kind of grand escape moment. He doesn't get to do any of the cool Joker shit that people might want to see when they go to see a Joker movie. He just gets caught, gets broken up with, and then gets stabbed to death. And then the movie ends. And I actually just saw on Twitter this post of Todd Phillips being like, oh, I'm done with DC. I think everything I wanted to do was in those two movies. And I'm like, yeah, I can tell you're done with it, because it very much felt like a peace, I'm out of here. Like, yeah, wow. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Like, any of the cool Joker moments that you might see in the trailer, they only happen in those fantasy sequences where they're also singing and dancing. And the problem is that, like, if those sequences already bother you, then you can't even enjoy them, watching them do the Joker stuff, So I don't know. I don't know. You keep, because we're so used to like the way these Joker story work in the comics and in the TV shows. You're like, yeah, Joker gets caught, sent to Arkham, and then he escapes, or someone breaks him out, or some other crazy convenient thing happens where he's able to walk out of Arkham, and then he starts his reign of crime all over again, and it's like this secular thing that happens over and over again. But no, this just kind of treated it like it really was just like a one-off, like, yeah, this guy went crazy one time, called himself Joker, was caught in Arkham, he spent 2 years in there, someone exploded the courthouse during his sentencing, but don't worry, we caught him, and then he was stabbed by some random inmate and he died right there in the hallway. The end. That's the legacy of Joker. As far as any other like DC connections, they do, for some reason, they bothered to put in a Harvey Dent. Like the DA prosecuting him is Harvey Dent in the movie. And the explosion that blows everything up, it does mess up half of his face. And so again, the movie's, it's almost like the movie's like teasing you. It's like making fun of the fans. It's like, oh look, Harvey Dent's got a Two-Face, but you never see him again. It's never brought up again. And then the Joker dies. And you're like, what was the point of this movie? You know, so like back when this was announced and everyone was saying, oh, do we really need a second Joker movie? Hey, turns out those people were right, I think. Like, I think this story is actively worse now because they made this movie that didn't really have a point to it, you know. And I wouldn't even say that it works as like a love story or a romance, or and not to say that anyone should try to emulate the Joker Harley Quinn romance anyways, because obviously that's all kinds of fucked up. But my point is, even if that's kind of what they were going for, like, oh, it's a romance story, it's a love story. I'm like, not really. Like, these two people don't really know each other at all. They kind of just, you have, like you have so many times in real life, you have a killer who's caught in jail. People start writing them letters, or they want to like get to meet this killer, and like they kind of just fangirl out about this killer for some reason, you know, because they have all the notoriety. And that's really the situation you have here. And she was only along the ride with him for as long as he kept up this whole Joker persona and this fantasy of like, oh, I can do anything I want. I'm crazy. I'm the Joker, right? But when he gave that up, when he's like, no, I'm not the Joker, because I got beat up by some guards, and now I guess I just lost my will to fight, I guess. Okay. And he's literally just like, all right, I'm not the Joker, sorry. And like, that's it. And then she just leaves, and I'm like, okay, so this isn't even, you can't even pretend that this is some kind of fucked up romance where she's gonna help him get his groove back and remind him that he's the Joker. Like, no, it doesn't happen. She just leaves and she's out of the movie. It like, oh man, I don't know, guys. I don't know who this was for, you know, because when you make your own adaptation of like a known property, right? That's fine. Like, some people are going to get mad that it doesn't stay faithful to the property, but that happens literally all the, name a movie that has ever done that, right? Anyways, my point is, you build a new fan base. Like that Joker movie built its own new fan base for this Joker. Like, people loved this Joker. And now the second movie kind of just craps all over that, like in almost every way. You know, it totally breaks the illusion that this guy was ever cool or menacing or anything. Like, in that one scene, it kind of just destroyed all of that, all of the mystique about this crazy guy. So it's not for those fans, and it's not for the fans of the material. So who's it for then? Like, you know, like, what audience are you serving? I don't know. You know, even the musical segments are not like full-on musicals, you know, like they're not like, obviously Lady Gaga sounds good when she sings, obviously, but I just mean, like, it's not like Joaquin Phoenix is like singing like the best singer in the world. He's still singing like Arthur Fleck would sing, you know, so kind of bad. But like, he's doing that on purpose, you know. But so it's not like for musical fans. It's not for DC fans. It's not for fans of the first movie. I don't know who this movie's for. This movie is for Todd Phillips to get a paycheck and all these people to get paychecks, and then for them to be like, later, WB, good luck with all that. I can say this though, if there's anything I can walk away from this with, it's that look, James Gunn is making his own DC universe, and we still have Matt Reeves' The Batman universe, which also just came out with the Penguin TV show, which I haven't started watching yet. I'll try to watch that at some point. And then we had this. We had like the Matt Reeves Joker movies. I can say that this universe will not be continuing, and at the very least, hey, at least we're down from 3 universes to just 2 now. So that's a little bit less to worry about, I guess, when it comes to trying to care about DC Universe stuff. But yeah, overall, just I don't know. I cannot imagine. I'm sure there's gonna be some people that really like this, but I think most people are gonna be like, what the fuck just happened? And it felt like so easy. It would have been so easy to just make a version of this movie that appeases the fans. You can even still do the courtroom thing, but have him actually escape, have him actually, like, oh, he's built up such a fandom through his, like, legend now that he's got this army of people willing to, you know, be Joker minions for him. And, you know, like, they could have done that. They almost did it, but then they just decided not to. And it feels like, wow, if they had just ended the movie there, I think a lot of people would have been okay with this. But no, they decided to go literally the most opposite way you could have. So I don't know. I can't imagine this movie making even close to the first one, or at least it's not gonna cross $1 billion. I can tell you that now. I do not see that happening, especially once word starts getting out that, like, oh, this kind of ruined everything about the first one. So yeah, I don't know, guys. They should not have made this movie. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I understand why they did. The first one made $1 billion, so of course they were going to, but they shouldn't have. So anyways, let me know what you guys think about Joker Folie à Deux, Joker 2. Yeah, what, I don't know. Tell me what your finishing thoughts were as you're leaving the theater. Tell me what's going through your brain, because wow. Okay. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye.